Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are now discussing the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is the conclusion of the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. As we had discussed before, the entire Bhagavad Gita has got 18 chapters, and these 18 chapters can be divided into 3 sections of 6 chapters each, called as shatkas. So the middle shatka, the middle 6 chapters, they deal with the subject matter of pure bhakti, which is actually the core essence or message of the Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 chapters and the last 6 chapters, they talk about karma yoga and jnana yoga. The middle 6 chapters, that is chapters 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they talk about pure bhakti, which is actually the only way to attain complete satisfaction. If the soul has to be completely satisfied, the soul has to engage, or we have to engage in pure devotional service to Krishna. So this message is brought about very nicely in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. And in this chapter, which is entitled Devotional Service or Bhakti Yoga, Lord Krishna deals with this subject matter more elaborately. In this chapter, Lord Krishna talks about 3 main things. Firstly, he clarifies Arjuna's doubt. Arjuna's doubt is, there are some people who actually meditate upon the impersonal aspect of God. They say that God is formless. And there are others who worship the personal form of Krishna. They are called devotees. Those who meditate on the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, they are called as jnanis. So, Arjuna's direct question is, according to Krishna's opinion, who of these two are considered more perfect? Those who are jnanis, who meditate on the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, the all-pervading aspect of God, or those who worship the personal form of God? Who among these two is more perfect? Who is more connected in yoga to the Supreme Lord? That was his question. And Krishna clarifies that. That is the first part that Krishna talks about in this chapter. And second part that he talks about is how to actually practice Bhakti Yoga depending on one's advancement in consciousness. There are various levels of practice of Bhakti. The highest being pure devotional service. But one may not be in that state from the very beginning itself, because every soul evolves through his or her journey of spiritual advancement. So, Lord Krishna talks about the different levels of practice of bhakti. Whatever state of consciousness one may be situated in does not matter. One can still make progress. Just like if you are climbing the staircase, somebody may be in the first step, somebody may be in the 5th step, somebody may be in the 20th step. But as long as you are moving towards the upper destination, you are actually making progress. There is no need to compare, oh, I am more advanced because I am in 20th step, and look at that person, he has just begun, he is in the first step. No. From the point of view of Krishna, both are actually considered devotees, provided they make progress towards the next step. So Krishna talks about the different levels of practicing bhakti. And the last thing that Krishna talks about, the third thing in this chapter, is the different qualities that a devotee develops during his course of advancement in spiritual life. Krishna is an ocean of wonderful transcendental qualities. Devotee who meditates on Krishna through the process of chanting or hearing, or through the process of deity worship, or by discussing about him in the association of devotees, a devotee, by doing all of these things, can also develop wonderful qualities by meditating on the transcendental qualities of Krishna. So, if you meditate on somebody's faults, you will also develop those faults. But if you meditate on the good qualities of others, you will also develop those good qualities. And Krishna's qualities are all transcendental. So, simply by meditating on Krishna and his wonderful qualities, we can also develop wonderful transcendental qualities. And Krishna says, when you develop these qualities, I will get attracted to you. Krishna means all attractive, one who attracts everybody. But by devotional qualities, a devotee can attract even Krishna. So that is what this chapter concludes with. Krishna gives a list of the qualities that Krishna likes in his devotees. So these are the three main aspects that are discussed in this chapter. So it's one of the shortest chapters in the entire Bhagavad Gita because it has only 20 shlokas. So what we'll do is, we will try to chant these shlokas, and we will try to chant the Sanskrit shlokas and also discuss the meaning of each of these shlokas. So let us begin. Please repeat. Arjuna Uvacha Evam Satata Yuktaye
एवं सततयुक्ताये
Bhaktasvam Paryupasate
भक्तास्त्वं परिपासते
Ye Chapyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha. So this is the chapter is beginning with an inquiry by Arjuna. Arjuna inquired, which is considered to be more perfect? Those who are properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? That is Arjuna's direct question. As I said, there are two classes of transcendentalists. Transcendentalists means those who are aspiring to come to the spiritual platform. They are called transcendentalists. And one is called the personalists. They follow the personalism philosophy, where they consider that the absolute truth is a person. He has a form, and he is the supreme personality. That is the understanding of the personalists. And those who are impersonalists, they consider that the absolute truth is formless. It is formless, nirakara. So Arjuna's question is, among these two categories of transcendentalists who are aspiring to come to the spiritual platform, who is considered to be more perfect? Yoga Vittamaha. Yoga Vittama. Vittama means one who is more advanced in yoga. As we have already understood, what is the meaning of the word yoga? In the 4th chapter of the Gita, we have understood. Yoga means the science of one's eternal relationship with the Supreme. That is called yoga. Yoga is a science. Why is it called as a science? Just like you all are science students. One of the main features, specialities of science is that suppose if there is one experiment you do in your laboratory, let's say a chemistry laboratory, acid plus base, say for example, sodium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid in the right proportion, you do the titration experiment, or you do one neutralization reaction experiment. You will get a salt and water. What is the salt formed?
Sodium sulfate.
Sodium sulfate and plus water. Correct?
Yes.
This is called neutralization reaction. Correct? Now, if you do this experiment in IISc in Bangalore, you get these two products, sodium sulfate and water. Suppose you go to the Cambridge University and there you perform the similar experiment in similar room temperature and pressure. Will you get some other salt? You have to get same salt, provided the reactants are the same and all the conditions, reactants are the same, you will get the same products. You go to Harvard University in the laboratory there you do the experiment, you will get the same products. Correct? You go to one local school, government school in Karnataka, in Bangalore, where they hardly have, let's say, any good laboratory facilities. There also you go and do, you will get the same. You do it in 2024, you do it in maybe 2030, 3000, you do, you will get the same. So this is called science. There is predictability. Anybody can follow the process and one will get the same result. This is called science. There is predictability. Now, the acharyas call bhakti yoga as a science. It is not some sentiment. It is a science. That means what? You do this process, you follow this process, come here front and sit, share the book. So you follow the process anywhere in the world. Anybody, doesn't matter what is your background, whether you are an Indian or an American or an African, whatever, you follow the process of bhakti yoga as given in the authorized scriptures, you will get the same result. That is why this is called a science. So spiritual understanding is a matter of following the instructions given by the guru, by the bona fide spiritual master, and taking it very seriously and executing those instructions in our daily life, and then you will surely see the same positive transformation in your life. Therefore, it is not a vague, some sentimental idea. Spiritual life is actually a great science. And that is why, since you are already accustomed to the principles of science, those who have a scientific bent of mind will be able to appreciate this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita very nicely, because this is also a science. So that means you chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You will get the same results that 500 years ago, when somebody practiced this chanting under the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever results they got, you get the same result. And a few decades ago, Srila Prabhupada took this mantra to the West, made those Americans chant the Hare Krishna mantra, there were certain positive transformations that they were able to experience on the strength of chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. Today also we can get the same benefits. So you follow the process with the right understanding and you see the same result. Therefore, it is a science. It is not simply a matter of belief. Right? Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, oh, Krishna is just a matter of belief. Somebody believes that Krishna exists, so therefore for him Krishna exists. For somebody who does not have belief, for him Krishna does not exist. Srila Prabhupada replied, no, it is not like that. Suppose there is sun in the sky. Somebody believes, he closes his doors and windows inside the house he stays and he says there is no sun in the sky. Just because he is believing that there is no sky, there is no sun in the sky, will it change the reality? No. All that you have to do is open your doors and windows, come out and see the sun is shining brightly in the sky. You will be able to see it for yourself. It is not a matter of belief. It is not simply some superstition. It is a fact. And all that we have to do is we have to realize the fact. You see, the word realize is very interesting. It is real. It is already existing. Krishna is already existing. Our relationship with Krishna is already existing. It is real for sure. It is Sat. But we have to realize it. Realize in our life means what? We have to make it. You have to just become aware of it. That's called realization. So spiritual realization means how much you have become more aware and aware. More aware you have become about your relationship with Krishna. And that process which helps us realize our relationship with Krishna, that is the process called Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is a process which will help us to become aware of our eternal loving relationship with Krishna. We are not trying to start a new connection. It's not that now we have to chant Hare Krishna, we have to psych up our mind. Oh, that there is somebody Krishna, we have to psych up. No, it is not psyching up. Krishna is a reality. I am soul, that is reality. My relationship with Krishna is eternal, that is also reality. But right now, I have forgotten. Now I have to revive my relationship. So this revival process is the process of Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga. And when you revive your relationship with Krishna, what will happen to you? You will actually become evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yojitaha. You become prasanna manasaha. You become very joyful. Even amidst difficult circumstances, even amidst challenges, you won't be shaken up. You will be blissful. Why? Because you know, I am not alone. Krishna is with me. And Krishna is not an ordinary person of this world. He is the Supreme Personality. He is my Supreme Well-Wisher. And He can help me in all circumstances. When we realize this fact, then prasanna manasaha, you become joyful, blissful. Example for this is Prahlad Maharaj. We all know the son of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada. This 5-year-old boy. He was subjected to so many difficulties, harassments by his own demoniac father, but he was prasanna manasaha. The very name Prahlada, Prakrushta Rupena Ahlada, iti Prahlada. Ahlada means joyful, joy, blissful. So Prakrushta means the highest. So Prahlada was always situated on the highest stage of bliss. How? Because he was always aware of his relationship with Krishna. He was always seeing Krishna face to face. That is why when his father said, is your God present in this pillar? He said, definitely, 100%, for sure. I'm able to see him. Then his father asked, See, I tried to kill you in so many ways, but you were unharmed. What is the secret? From where are you getting this much strength? And Prahlad very boldly answered, my dear father, the same source from where you have got all this power, that is the source of my power and strength also. You see, 5-year-old boy is speaking like this, right? Because he is yoga vittamaha. He is advanced in yoga. He is deeply connected with Krishna. This is very important. So, Bhakti Yoga is that highest process of yoga which anybody can practice, immaterial of his or her background, whether he or she has performed some austerities or not, doesn't matter. Whether we are qualified spiritually or not, doesn't matter. All that we have to do is we have to come in touch with a pure devotee, take his instructions, follow those instructions seriously and diligently, and you will also be able to become prasanna manasaha. You'll become joyful. We all want to be joyful, right? Correct? In fact, the goal of whatever we do in our life is to be happy. But all the material process of becoming happy, it is a cheating process. It is a cheating process. For example, somebody will say, you come, watch our movie for 1.5 hours, you will become joyful. So, a lot of propaganda, publicity is made, and everybody goes, buys the tickets, and they go and sit and watch the movie. And they say, very nice, maza aa gaya, paisa vasool ho gaya, right? If it is really good movie. But what are you seeing? You are just seeing some patch of lights. Can patch of lights give you happiness? Then why don't you put patches of lights in your own house and see them? So the ability to enjoy is within us, but we are giving credit to the director, to the artists, to the actors of the movie. Of course, they all have talents and we have to appreciate that. I'm not saying we should belittle their talents, but the ability to take pleasure is within us. Suppose somebody becomes addicted to smoking. He says, whenever I smoke, I'm on the seventh sky. I'm, honeydew. I'm enjoying. But is that cigarette giving you pleasure? No. You have psyched up. This is psyching up. Oh, whenever I'm feeling low, whenever I'm feeling pressure, if I smoke, there is some pleasure I'm experiencing. But so you have imposed pleasure on that cigarette. And then you're thinking that the cigarette is giving me pleasure. So this is cheating business going on. The ability to take pleasure is within you, but you don't know that. So you are thinking the cigarette is giving me pleasure, this movie is giving me pleasure, this kind of food is giving me pleasure. And for that you have to work very hard because you have to earn money to get all of those things. See how we become very busy in our daily lives. We become very busy to earn money so that with that money we can get all these objects of sense enjoyment and then think that these objects are giving me happiness. And we become very busy 24/7 working like this. But the Vedic scriptures say human life is not meant for wasting time like this. Working very hard to simply think that I'm getting pleasure from all of these things. Actually, the ability to enjoy is within you. You have to discover that. And okay, if I get all these things, suppose going to movie or smoking a cigarette or drinking or whatever, partying, okay, these are all giving me some experience of pleasure, happiness. But is this uninterrupted pleasure? Is this forever? No, it has a beginning, it has an end. Just for a few moments of pleasure, we toil so much, we work hard, we overexert, And then again that pleasure is gone. Now again to get another experience, again you have to spend money and work hard for that, getting that money. You see how everybody is getting busy in this world? Just for some momentary, fleeting moments of pleasure, experience of pleasure. So this kind of engagements is actually cheating. We are self-deceiving. We are not knowing what is real pleasure, and we are being cheated every moment. And the Lord spoke this Bhagavad Gita so that we become enlightened, so that we don't get cheated. In this world, there are people who cheat others, and there are people who get cheated by themselves. We all belong to both the categories. So, this cheating has to stop. We should not get cheated. We should not get carried away by fleeting pleasure. So we have to be established in real knowledge. And this opportunity is available only in human life. That is why human life is so precious. Human life is so precious. Idam shariram khalu dharma sadhanam. Human life, human body is actually meant for spiritual realizations. So when we use the human body for temporary sense gratification, it is cheating, self-cheating. It is depriving yourself of a higher enjoyment. So spiritual life means enjoyment. Spiritual life means enjoyment. But enjoyment of a higher degree of pleasure, of a very, very, very elevated quality of enjoyment. So, if we do not take up spiritual life seriously, then we will continue to remain cheated every moment in our life. So, Krishna is speaking this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita so that we don't anymore get cheated. We should awaken ourselves. The Upanishad says, Uddhishta Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodhata. Oh human being, now you have got this precious opportunity. You have been born as a human being. Earlier you were born in other species of life, where you did not have developed consciousness. You could not think about higher things in life. You were simply being driven by the laws of nature. So therefore you are only worrying about where is food, where to eat, where to sleep, where to find a mate, how to defend myself. This is what we were worried about in all the species of life. Now you got human life. Uttishta, get up. Jagrata, become awakened about your reality, real position. I am not this body, I am soul. This is my actual position. I should awaken myself to this reality. And prapya varan nibodhata, achieve eternal life, which is actually our entitlement. The soul is eternal, but the body is imposing a limitation called death upon us. And that is why we shun away from the very thought of death. We don't want to think that we cease to exist at some point of time, because that is very natural for the soul, because soul is eternal. But the moment we consider ourselves to be this body and become busy in simply gratification of the body, then what happens? We become impelled to continue the cycle of repeated births and deaths, which is actually a very horrible experience. So Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad Gita to save us from this horrible repeated experiences. So we have to become intelligent. Becoming intelligent means to accept the instructions of Lord Krishna that he has given in the Bhagavad Gita. That is intelligence. Somebody says, I can code and write a program. I can do artificial intelligence. I am very advanced. I am very intelligent. Yeah, that is all intelligence. But until you come to the spiritual knowledge, you're actually not intelligent. You're not explored your highest feature. Just like in a phone, there are many features. Many times we keep using the same features, but you don't know that there may be some other features in your phone. For example, some phones Android phones have a feature with just two, or if you just slide like this, you can take a screenshot. Right? Some phones have that feature. You can take a screenshot. So we don't know that this feature exists. When somebody tells us, oh, taking a screenshot is that easy, I didn't know this. So, like this, there are many unexplored features of human life. And all of those features of human life you can experience when you actually take up the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita seriously. So that is only for fortunate people. We are all very fortunate, right? Because we have at least used our free will. Okay, there is some Bhagavad Gita class, let us go and attend. Even though it is happening in the same campus, not everybody is fortunate enough to come every week and hear. I was just reflecting today when coming here. So, when we started the Bhagavad Gita series, chapter 1, this room was houseful. I remember chapter 1 and 2, it was houseful. I was, there was no space to sit here. You remember? Some of you were there. But now you see, we have come to almost towards the end. Chapter 12, you see the attendance today. Krishna has already told this. Attendance will be like this. In the 7th chapter, Krishna says this. Right? He says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. He says, out of thousands and thousands of individuals in this material world, very few people will be interested to attain spiritual perfection. So it is already like 1:1000 ratio. Krishna has told this in the Bhagavad Gita. So therefore we must all, if we have developed a little interest, little inclination to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita, then we are actually among the chosen lot. We must actually be very happy for that. And of course, we should not just settle down saying that, oh, I'm very fortunate, that's enough. No, we have to put this into practice. Then you will become more fortunate and most fortunate. And this yoga vittamaha means one who is most fortunate, one who has actually connected with Krishna intensely, fully, and properly. So, Arjuna's question is, who is more connected with you in yoga? One who meditates on your impersonal, all-pervading aspect called Brahma Jyoti, or one who worships your personal form? Who among these two is more advanced in yoga? That is Arjuna's question. Now the Lord replies. Please repeat. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshya Mano Yema Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Teme Yuktatama Mataha. The blessed Lord said, he whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, is considered by me to be most perfect. So, direct question, direct answer. There is no beating around the bush. Right? Arjuna is asking, who is better, impersonalist or your devotee, personalist? And Krishna is saying, personalist. There is no beating around the bush. Oh, if I don't tell in person, they will all feel bad. Nowadays, there are so many so-called spiritual gurus who become very famous on various social media platforms. Their videos go viral and a lot of people watch these videos. But in most of the cases, almost 99.9% of these people, they simply speak what is pleasing to the audience. So they dilute the actual philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Oh, if I don't mention this, then these people will feel bad. So I should tell that everybody is correct. Yato mat, tato pat. There is a philosophy like that. Whichever path you manufacture, you think, whichever path in your mind you manufacture, all the paths are correct. All roads lead to the same destination. This is their philosophy. Why? Because if I tell something specific, my followers will reduce. People will be unhappy, they will not come. Therefore, you follow whatever process you want to follow. That's okay. You become my followers. This is the idea. But Krishna is not endorsing such an idea here. First of all, he's saying the most perfect is one who fixes his mind on my personal form. Maya Veshya, Mai. Mai means unto me. My form. Aveshya Manaha. Fix your mind on my form. And Nitya Yukta Upasate. Upasana you have to do. Upasana means to worship. You cannot worship something impersonal. You worship a personal form, a personality. Right? Many times people say, oh, you are worshipping a Vigraha in the temple, and you call this Vigraha made out of some material elements to be God. You know, how can you be so illogical? People argue like this. Oh, this God, this statue, which is made up of stone or some brass, you are saying that is God? You know?
As premonition.
Actually, that is the deity, we call it. The deity, Vigraha, is not different from God. So there is a great science behind it. Just like, suppose people argue, why should I come to temple only? I can worship God anywhere. Why should I come to temple?
Because we didn't
So-
still realize that everything is part and parcel of God.
Yeah, good answer. So Srila Prabhupada gave a wonderful reply. He said, see, water is everywhere in the atmosphere, isn't it? Water vapor is there. But when you are thirsty, will you put your tongue out and drink from the air? No. You have to go to one particular source where you can draw water, maybe from a tap or a well or a pond or a river or whatever, and from there you drink water. That means even though water is present everywhere, the water which is there in that source of water is more tangible. It is accessible, appreciable, and you take that and you immediately quench your thirst. In the same way, yes, God is present everywhere, but in that place where His glories are chanted, where His devotees personally engage in His service, and where His beautifully decorated form can be seen, that place is more conducive for us to develop love and devotion for God. Therefore, you should come to temple. It's not that God is only there in the temple. He's there everywhere. But you are not able to appreciate that right now. But when you come to the temple, immediately you will think of Krishna. Oh, here is Krishna. Oh, here are devotees who are singing His glories. Oh, here are people who are worshipping Him with flowers and with various other paraphernalia. So you will be able to appreciate. He is more tangibly present. So there is a great science behind. So since currently with our material vision, we can only see material objects. Our eyes are not purified to see the spiritual form of God. Right? Like Prahalad. Prahalad said, yes, Krishna is there. I'm seeing Him even in the pillar. Right? We don't have that kind of a realization right now. That realization is possible when we practice Bhakti Yoga. Gradually we can come to that stage also where we develop prema, pure love of God. And in the state of pure love of God, you will be able to see Krishna 24/7. He is never lost to your vision. He is always there. But right now, a lot of purification has to happen. And for purification to happen, engagement in seva is required. Therefore, God has agreed to come in a form which right now our material eyes can see. And that is called Archa Vigraha. So, Archa Vigraha, he is an authorized form of God. So, the scriptures called the Agama Shastras, they talk about what is this Archa Vigraha? How to invoke the presence of God in the Archa Vigraha. There is an elaborate process for that. So once the deity is installed, it is non-different from Krishna, actually. So you go and worship the deity, you offer prayers to the deity, it is same as worshipping the form of God in the spiritual world. There's no difference. And there are many instances where the deity has spoken and interacted with pure devotees. There are many such instances. So if we have developed that devotion, deity can speak to you. Deity will reciprocate to you. It's not simply psyching up. It is a fact. You'll realize that over a period of time when you advance. So that means any form of God I can just imagine and make a deity out of it and just worship it. Any form? No. It is not like that. There are descriptions in the scriptures about the authorized form of God and a proper way of invoking God's presence in the deity. If the deity is made, carved according to those descriptions, then you will feel the presence of God. You can experience the presence of God. Right? Srila Prabhupada gave an example. Suppose, we all know in India we have the postal department. We have post boxes generally painted in red and black. Right? India Post, generally red and black. So, wherever there are these post boxes, you go, write a letter, put the correct address and drop it into the post box. It will reach the destination. Correct? Suppose now you think, why should I go there? It is so far, that post box. Now, outside my house, I will make a box. I will paint it red and black. And I will write letter, put it in an envelope, write the correct postal address, and I will drop it in that box. Will the letter reach?
No one will take.
Why? Because it is unauthorized. It is not recognized by the government, by the postal department. Whereas the authorized post box, every day at a certain time, the postman comes to clear that box. He takes away all those letters and then it goes through network of post offices across the country, and then they are sorted out according to the different zones and pin codes, and then further they are delivered to their destinations. That means that post box which is authorized by the government is not just a box painted in red and black. It is actually an entire department. It is as good as the entire postal department. Therefore, it is called authorized. Correct? But the box that you have painted red and black may look similar to that box, but it is not authorized. Your letters won't reach. It won't. The box will remain for eternity. The letters will remain there only. So, when you do seva to the authorized Archa Vigraha in the temple, you can be rest assured that Krishna has personally received your seva. When you offer prayers, Krishna has personally accepted your prayers. And you can see the reciprocation of the Lord in your life just by serving the deity. So therefore, this Archa Vigraha, it is not a sentimental process, it is a great science. Right? So now, whether God is having form or is he formless? That is another important point that we have to understand correctly.
Prabhu, in home also we keep some murti and pray every day.
So if that form is as per the description in the scriptures, yes, you can worship. There's no harm. But you cannot imagine your own form of God. Right? There is no making your own form. Your own form of God is called idol. So there is a difference. Do not use the word idol and deity interchangeably. Both are different. Idol means imaginary form of God. In fact, idol worship is forbidden in the Vedas. Na asti pratima asti. There is no pratima of God. What does it mean?
There is no idol.
There is nobody like him. That is the meaning of pratima. Like Krishna, there is no second Krishna. That is the meaning of pratima. Pratima means like him, there is nobody. Correct? But he can expand himself into unlimited forms. That is there. So the Archa Vigraha also is an expansion of God's form. If it is made according to the description in the scriptures. So if I imagine my own form of God and then worship, will that actually reach the Supreme Lord? No, it will not. Then it is called idol worship. So idol worship is forbidden, but deity worship is encouraged in the Vedic scriptures. So we must become aware of these two words, idol and deity.
If everything is from Vishnu, then why it can't be Vishnu?
Everything is Vishnu's, apostrophe yes. Everything is not Vishnu. That is important. Everything is not God. Everything is God's property. Right? If you follow the authorized scriptural statements and make the deity, Krishna can make himself available to you in that deity. But if you imagine your own form, no. Because the whole thing is obedience to the scriptures. Scriptures are words of God. So what do you mean by following the scripture? Following the scripture means being obedient to God's instructions. In the 17th chapter, Krishna says, Yashastra vidhim utsrijya vartate kamakarataha nasa siddhim avapnoti na shantim na param gatim. Shastra vidhim utsrijya. Utsrijya means to give up. If you give up the regulations mentioned in the Shastras, in the scriptures, vartate, acting, instead of following the scriptural instructions, if you act, vartate, kama karataha, according to your own whims. No, I feel this is God, I will worship. I feel this is the form of worship, I will do this. You invent your own form of worship and God. Then Krishna says, Nasa siddhim avapnoti. Avapnoti means to achieve. Na sa siddhim. You will not attain perfection. Siddhim na avapnoti. Na shantim. Forget about perfection. Even you cannot achieve peace of mind. And na param gatim. You will not attain the highest goal of life, which is to go back to Krishna. That also you will not attain. Three things you will not attain if you give up the scriptural statements and invent your own methodologies. Right? Now you may say, why can't I invent my own methodology? Because my God, I will think about my God in my way. Like some years back, there was this, one of the very well-known actresses of the Bollywood industry. She said, my plate, my right. And this became a viral thing in this thing. She said, nobody should tell me what I should eat, what I should not eat in the name of religion and God. It is my plate, my right. Like that she was saying. Right? And a lot of people liked it. They followed. It became a craze. So, so my God, my way. Somebody starts saying, oh, I want God. I feel God is like this, God is that, God is this. I will manufacture my own. No, that cannot happen. Why? Because we are conditioned souls. Right now we are under the influence of Maya. So under the influence of Maya, Maya means illusion. We are under illusion. Under such illusion, whatever ideologies and theories and belief systems that you manufacture will not be perfect. That is why we have to accept knowledge from the perfect source. Right? So, if I am under illusion and I manufacture yato mat tato pat, whatever pata you follow, whatever you think you follow, no. That will have defects. We all have, the symptoms of conditioned soul is that we have defects. Number one, we have imperfect senses. Correct? Our senses are not perfect. Sometimes we mistake something for something else. Correct? This is another defect. It's called vipralipsa. No, that is called pramada. That is different. That is senses, imperfect senses. Mistaking something for something else. Pramada, illusion. In the darkness, you see the rope and you think it is snake. That is illusion. Actually, there is no snake. But you got illusion. That's one of the defects. imperfect senses, become prone to be illusioned, and then cheating propensity, vipralipsa, cheating propensity. We want to cheat others. Given an opportunity, we want to cheat. We all have done that in the school days, probably, in the examination hall. When the invigilator is looking somewhere else, you look into your neighbor's answer paper and try to cheat. We have this cheating tendency. And what is the fourth one? Brahma. Brahma is illusion. Right? So we have these defects. So when we manufacture our own ideology, our own ism, so many isms keep taking birth like bubbles in the ocean every now and then today. That's becoming that's a trend, You start your own ism, let him start his own ism. Everybody starts his own process. So these are all defective. They will not help us attain the highest destination. Therefore, it is said, spiritual life begins when you give up your mental concoctions and agree to follow the standard process given in the scriptures. Until then, spiritual life doesn't begin at all. It is simply some sentimentalism. And it will simply disturb yourself and others also. It's of no use. So therefore, we have to accept the Shastra Vidhi. That is a process. So, Krishna is saying here for certain that God has a form, and worshipping his form, which is all spiritual, leads one to the supreme destination. There's no doubt, there's no second thought about it. Right? So, just one last point and then we'll continue. So, how do you say that God has a form? If you accept a form of God, are you not limiting him? This is one of the questions that people generally have.
You can take any form that is authorized in the scriptures or
Yeah. So, we have come across limited forms. That doesn't mean God's forms are also limited. No. Our forms are all limited. What do you mean by limited? Limited by space and time. Correct? If I am here at this point of time, I cannot be elsewhere. Correct? Because my form is material, it has to follow material laws. Matter follows material laws, no? According to the material laws, an object cannot occupy two different spaces at the same point of time. Yes or no? So, our forms have got those limitations. Therefore, because we have experiences of limitations of these, our forms, we think that God's form also must be having same limitations.
but actually we are not this material body, right? We are
No, that's okay. But I'm saying forms. We are seeing the forms right now. Correct? Yes, we are not the material bodies. That's true. And we are actually the soul. Correct?
yes.
But even the soul has got limitation. The soul also cannot exist in two different places at the same time.
Why Prabhu soul can't exist in two different.
Why? How it can exist?
Soul is not a material thing.
But if I am here, I cannot be in America at this point of time. My mind may go and come back. Correct? Right? So, but I am limited currently to this body. In the 13th chapter, Krishna talks about Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga. So, idam shariram kaunteya kshetram abhidhiyate. This body is called kshetra. And the person within this body is called the knower of this kshetrajna. So, I am only conscious of what is within my body currently. You are conscious of your body. She is conscious of her body. But there is one more kshetrajna. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Krishna is another kshetrajna who is present in every kshetra, and therefore he is conscious of what is happening in every body. So the Atma and the Paramatma have got this distinction. Atma can know only about his kshetra, his body, whereas Paramatma can know about everything that is existing. Abhijna, he is all knowing. Correct? So, My knowing capacity is limited. My being capacity is also limited at a particular place. But such limitations do not exist for Krishna because Krishna has no material form. Krishna has his all spiritual form, Satchidananda Vigraha. You may say soul is also Satchidananda, but soul's being Satchidananda is also limited. Our ability to be in one place, our ability to know, our ability to enjoy, all these three, Sat, Chit and Ananda, are limited, less. So therefore, Prabhupada gives example. Krishna is like a big fire, and each one of us, we soul, we are like a spark, small spark. We are also like fire only, but that fire is Maha Agni, but we are spark. Correct? So, what I was telling before this, before he said,
That we are limited by time and space.
yeah, we are limited by time and space, exactly. But Krishna has no such limitations. And Krishna practically demonstrated this when he appeared in this world 5,000 years ago. Right? So, there was one demon called Bhaumasura. He's also called Narakasura, after whom we celebrate the Naraka Chaturdashi festival during Diwali. Recently, 1 month ago, we celebrated. So, who was this Bhaumasura? He is the Bhumi Putra, therefore, he is called Bhauma. Bhauma means son of Bhumi Devi. So, earlier, when the Lord had appeared as Varaha, he rescued the earth from the Garbhodaka ocean and killed the Hiranyaksha demon, restored Mother Earth back to her position. And at that time, one drop of sweat from Varaha fell on the earth. And by that, a personality was born. His name was Bhauma. But initially, he was a very good, well behaved person. He was very knowledgeable and he followed all the instructions of the scriptures, acted according to dharma. But later, he became contaminated by associating with demoniac people, one of whom was Banasura. Banasura was a demon. And this Bhauma became attached, friendly with this Banasura. And because of this Asat Sangha, bad association, he became a demon. And then he started creating terror for the whole people of this world. He started, he had many crazy ideas. So one of the ideas that he had was, I should marry all the girls in this planet. Everybody in this world is meant for my enjoyment. That was his crazy idea. So what he would do is, he would go and he would actually capture all the unmarried girls and put them in prison. Like this, he had actually captured 16,100 young princesses. He had put them in captive. And then not only that, he went to Swargaloka and he said, the Swarga belongs to me. With this power, he actually, drove away the Devatas from there. He insulted the mother of the Devatas, Aditi. Like this, he did so many things. So after all this, Devatas, and including Bhumi Devi, his own mother, Bhumi Devi was thinking, this kind of a son is a burden for me. You see? As long as he was following the path of dharma, she was happy. But the moment he actually transgressed dharma, became an adharmi, then Bhumi Devi was thinking, when will this fellow die? Right? So, Indra and all the Devatas went to Dwaraka to meet Lord Krishna and said, like this Bhaumasura is doing a lot of problems. He has done all these things. Can you please come do something for him? So immediately, Lord Krishna and mothers accompanied by Satyabhama, both of them went to Pragjyotishpura, that was a capital city of Bhaumasura. And there was a fierce fight, and Bhaumasura was killed by Lord Krishna. Right? And then after killing Bhaumasura, he released all those princesses who were captivated by Bhaumasura. And all the princesses, when they saw the form of the Lord, they were captured, their hearts were captured, and they said, "See, my dear Krishna, now we have no shelter to go. We have lived in this person's palace for these many years. Our parents are not ready to take us back, and nor do we have a husband because we are not married. So now we are shelterless. Now you please accept us as your maid servants," Krishna said. The princesses said. And immediately Krishna said, "Okay, so it be." Right? So Krishna expanded himself into 16,100 forms simultaneously
They are already
and
eternal servants.
married all of them together. Krishna expanded himself into 16,108 100 forms. This is a description of the Bhagavatam. And it's not that in Dwaraka he established 16,100 palaces. And it's not that each queen had to wait for her turn to be with Krishna. Then imagine it would take 16,100 days. But Krishna expanded himself, lived with each one of them simultaneously. So Krishna proved that his form has no limitations of space and time. This we have to understand very nicely. The biggest wrong idea that is concocted by the impersonalists is that Atma and Paramatma both are one and the same. This is not correct. This is not at all correct. At any point of time, either in the conditioned state of living or in the liberated state of living, Atma can never be equal to Paramatma. That is confirmed in the Vishnu Purana. Asamaurdhva, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu or Krishna is described as Asamaurdhva. Nobody is equal to him, nobody is greater than him. At any stage, even after becoming liberated soul, the individual soul can never equate with Bhagavan. This we have to understand very carefully. Right? So the point is, God's form is transcendental, and we can associate with God by chanting his holy names, that is Nama Avatara, and by worshipping his authorized form in the temple, that's called Archa Avatara. So there are various avatars. Right? Bhagavatam is called Grantha Avatara. Holy name is Nama Avatara, Shabda Avatara. And this form of God is called Archa Avatara. Avatara means to come down. So God comes down out of his causeless mercy so that we can get an opportunity to associate with him and serve him. That is the idea. We will take up questions at the end. Okay, let's continue. Ye tvaksharama nirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha कूटस्थम अचलम ध्रुवम सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः. So what will happen to the impersonalists? Krishna is saying, Te prapnuvanti mameva. Impersonalists also will attain me only. But we'll see why. Why Krishna is giving this as a second priority. That is explained in the next shloka. So the meaning of this is, but those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. That means even if somebody wants to attain the ultimate perfection, even if somebody is an impersonalist, thinking that God has no form, at the end of many such lives of practicing this impersonal meditation, one comes to the point of accepting the personal form of God. That is explained in the 7th chapter. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. So Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante. After many, many lifetimes of holding an impersonal understanding, they are called jnanis. Mameva prapadyate. At the end of many, many such lifetimes of impersonal meditation, one comes to accept Vasudevam Sarvamiti. This Vasudeva is everything. These many years, these many lifetimes, I was thinking Vasudeva is formless, God is formless. But now this Vasudeva is everything. And such a Mahatma is very rare, Krishna says. So, instead of many, many lifetimes of meditating on impersonal understanding and then coming to Vasudeva, why don't you now only accept Vasudeva and become intelligent? That is why Bhagavatam begins, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So in this Bhagavatam, what we are talking about? That Vasudeva who is all pervading, who has now appeared as the son of Vasudeva. So you fix your mind on him. That is the idea. Kleshodhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Klesha adhikataraha. Klesha means troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. We are all embodied souls, no, right now. That means soul has got encapsulated within a body. So to meditate on the impersonal form, Brahma Jyoti, it is extremely difficult for us in our current situation.
Who accept both the forms.
Huh?
Those who accept both the forms.
Yes, that is the right understanding. The original form is, that original understanding is God has a form, and his impersonal form is one of the aspects of that personal form. That is the understanding that Bhagavatam presents. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate bhavami na chirat partha. Sorry. Teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami na chirat partha maya veshita chetasam. So in the first 5 shlokas, Krishna has talked about form, formless, impersonalism, personalism, and he has given a definite understanding that those who meditate on my personal form are considered to be more superior and advanced. Now the middle portion of this, from these shlokas, Krishna is talking about the different levels of bhakti which one can practice. So, different levels of bhakti. As I said in the beginning, not everyone is ready to completely surrender to Krishna, because we are at different levels of consciousness. So for everybody, Krishna has something. No one is left out, right? So that is what is the beauty of these set of shlokas. So first thing he's talking about the highest thing, and then he comes down to different levels. For one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha, for him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So he's saying, first thing that you should do is completely surrender to me. Don't worry about anything else. Just become my devotee. Just surrender to me. Fix your mind on me always meditate upon me, and if you do this, I will deliver you from the ocean of repeated birth and death. That is Krishna's promise. Don't do anything else. Just surrender to Krishna. Engage in his bhakti directly. Engaging in his bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. 9 processes of bhakti. Shravanam, hearing about Krishna always. Kirtanam, chanting his holy names. Vishnu Smaranam, remembering him always, not forgetting him at any moment. Pada Sevanam, worshipping his feet. Archanam, worshipping the deity in the temple. Vandanam, offering various prayers to the Lord. Sakyam, accepting Krishna to be the supreme friend. Then what? What is the next? Dasyam, becoming his servant, carrying out his orders. Sakyam, becoming his friend. Then Atma Nivedanam, completely surrendering to him. At every aspect of life, depending on him fully. This is called Navavida Bhakti. 9 processes of bhakti. This is called completely surrendering, fixing our mind on Krishna. But not everybody can do this. Correct? So what about them? So Krishna has something for them also. Different strokes for different folks. So Krishna has that. Let's see, shloka number 8. Mayyeva mana adhatsva Mai buddhim niveshaya Nivasishyasi mayyeva Ata urdhvam na samshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. This is actually the highest one. Next. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, Dhananjaya, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain to me. So you can see the empathy of Krishna here.
This is not to Arjuna, I suppose. This is to us.
Everybody. This is for everybody. He's addressing, it's a conversation, so he's saying Arjuna's name, but it is for everybody. Bhagavad Gita is not only meant for Arjuna, it's for everybody. So he's saying, first thing is you fix your mind on me. Use all your intelligence in my service, all your talents you engage in my service. Then you will live in me. That's what Krishna is saying in the 8th chapter, 8th shloka. Now if you cannot do that, if you cannot fix your mind upon me, no problem. Follow the process of sadhana bhakti. That's called regulated principles of bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means what? Oh, I cannot 24/7 think about Krishna, but at least 1 hour in a day I will think about Krishna. That is sadhana. Practice. Sadhana means practicing. So, just like Srila Prabhupada has told us, you chant a fixed number of rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day. Those people who are of that consciousness described in the 8th shloka, they think about Krishna always, 24/7. We are not in that stage. Therefore, the Guru trains us, okay, directly don't have to come to that stage. Now, at least can you chant 16 rounds every day, which will take 2 hours only? Out of 24 hours, 2 hours can you think of Krishna directly? That is the proposal. So that's what Krishna is saying. If you cannot fix your mind, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. By doing this, what will happen? You will develop a desire to attain to me. The desire will come. Right? So after chanting Hare Krishna mantra for so much time, if you have not developed a desire to attain Krishna, that means there is some short circuit happening in the process. We are not doing it correctly. We are not doing it the right state of mind. Therefore, we have to understand how to chant Hare Krishna mantra. And Prabhupada has written so many books. Prabhupada said once, I have written all these volumes of books to make you chant Hare Krishna mantra. So how to chant Hare Krishna mantra and what should be our state of mind if you want to know? Every day we should study at least one page of Prabhupada's book. One page. It's not difficult. And you will know the secrets to make spiritual advancement. Text 10. Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Now somebody says, even that I cannot follow. The sadhana bhakti also I cannot follow. What will happen to me? What should I do? So Krishna is telling for them. What is he saying? If you cannot practice the regulations of bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. So working for Krishna. What is the meaning of that? For example, now we have the book marathon going on. During this 1.5 months, devotees all over the world, we engage in book distribution. That is practical work for Krishna. What you should do, just go door to door, knock at the door and say, can you please take a copy of Bhagavad Gita? Can you please read? Or at least read this one, make them read one paragraph. That's all. That is working for Krishna. You're working, practically you're doing some work. Oh, I cannot follow the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, all that sadhana bhakti, so much I cannot do. But at least work. Do some practical work. Seva you do. When Ramachandra was building bridge across the ocean, monkeys were doing seva. Squirrels also were doing seva. And Ramachandra accepted both sevas. He did not say, what is this nonsense squirrel? You're just bringing some few grains of sand. With this, what bridge I can build? You get lost from here. Your seva is not accepted. Krishna did not, Ramachandra did not say that. Your capacity is only to bring sand. That also I will accept. Hanuman can jump over the ocean. That is his capacity. Now, other monkeys were able to cut some tree trunks and bring. That is their capacity. According to your capacity, you work for Krishna and Krishna accepts your seva. And when Krishna accepts your seva, that is your perfection of life. Krishna is accepting your seva. In this world, we are serving so many masters. Correct, no? All of us are doing seva. We are doing seva to your boss in the office. You are doing some seva to somebody else. Isn't it? If not anything, we are doing seva 24/7 to our senses and mind and our body. So nicely we are doing seva. Seva paraha. We are nicely taking care of the body. But finally, all this seva, material seva, will simply give us frustration only. But if you want to really become happy, serve the real master, Krishna. So it doesn't matter how much you do seva, like the squirrel. But having that seva bhava is important. So whenever seva opportunity comes, we should immediately take it. That's very important. Even our Trans Dimensions Club also is run by those who are doing seva. Some of the students here, they have developed the seva bhava. Oh, now I know chanting Hare Krishna mantra, I have been doing, but how can more students in the IISc campus develop this? Now let me do some seva. What do? They organize the club activity so that all of you are sitting here today because somebody has done seva. Correct? They make calls and invite you. They send messages on your WhatsApp. Correct? They organize some events. This is all seva. Working for Krishna. So if you work for Krishna, then you will come to the perfect stage. That is what Krishna is saying here. Right? So working for Krishna. So during this book marathon period, right, at least try to distribute some books. Many of the students are already doing. You might have seen some pictures and photos. You can accompany them. Right? Now, facing rejections will make us humble. You speak to 100 people, probably 90 people will say, get lost, I don't have time. and that will make you humble. Oh, I am in the premier institute of the country. I'm a very intelligent person. I have made so many paper presentations. You go on the street and try to approach people, take Bhagavad Gita, nobody will care for you. So all your ego will get crushed. That's why Krishna is saying, if you work for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Your ego will get, big time it will get crushed. And that will become conducive for us to develop bhakti. So therefore, any of you who wants to make progress in bhakti, please contact the core members of Trans Dimensions. Whenever they go for book distribution, please go with them. Try. It's not a compulsion, of course, but if you can do it, it can really, you will get lot of realizations when you do this. If you're not able to go out and do book distribution, at least you can extend a helping hand to these core members to organize our Trans Dimensions activities. Some of you are already doing, I'm seeing that. Some of you are already extending your help. But on a regular basis, if you can do the seva, that will please the Lord, because that is what he's saying here. So if you want to please Krishna, do seva. And seva is the expression of love. The language of love is seva. When you say you love somebody, you have to actually demonstrate your love. You cannot just keep it in your heart. You have to express your love. And the way to express your love for God is by doing selfless seva. Generally, whenever we do any work, we always think how I can get benefit from that work. What results I can enjoy. That makes us selfish. But spiritual life means trying to become selfless. Out of 24 hours or out of 7 days a week, at least 1 hour can I do some selfless seva? Can I do some service? Can I extend help? Can I make some phone calls, invite more students for the Bhagavad Gita class? Can I help them in one or the other way? No work is insignificant in Krishna's seva. Oh, there is nothing called big work and small work. Oh, only when I give a class and a lot of people sit and hear, that is big seva. When I simply put some chair like that, that is not a seva. Nothing like that. Krishna sees what is your bhava while doing seva. He doesn't see the magnitude of your seva. So therefore, we must do some seva. Otherwise, when will we learn selflessness? Always, if you see 24/7, if you notice your day, you are doing something for yourself only. You go to the gym for yourself. You do yoga meditation for yourself. In fact, you chant Hare Krishna mantra. You are all chanting Hare Krishna mantra. For whom you are doing? For yourself. You are cooking food for yourself. You are going to the mess and having food for yourself. You are going to the lab and doing experiment. That's not some social service. It is for yourself. So that you get a PhD degree or you complete your course. It is for yourself. Tell me some work which you are doing for others. You are doing everything for yourself. So that means we are leading a selfish life. So Krishna is saying, you work for me. Do some seva.
Chanting Hare Krishna mantra is not selfish.
Yeah, how?
They are chanting it for Krishna.
You are chanting so that Krishna can show his mercy to you. You are the recipients of seva, of that. Of course, it is a seva that has to be understood. When you do service to Krishna, chanting is a service to Krishna, no doubt about it. But in the beginning, our intention is, I will chant so that I will be happy. My mind will be peaceful. Of course, slowly when you chant, you come to that stage also where you offer chanting as a seva to the Lord. And the Lord will enjoy that chanting. Right now when we chant, what is there for me? My mind should become peaceful. Of course, that is by better than not chanting. Oh, from today you should not think I will not chant now. Prabhu told it is selfish, so I will not chant. No, you should chant. Please don't stop chanting. But I am saying, selflessly do something for others. A Vaishnava, a devotee of Krishna, is called Paradukha Dukhi. When others are suffering, he feels for them. That is a symptom of a devotee. Oh, others are all suffering because they are disconnected from Krishna. Can I do something to help them to connect back to Krishna? That should be the thinking. Then we know that we are actually becoming dear to Krishna. We are actually becoming a devotee. When you help others to become a devotee, this is paropakara. Paropakarartham idam shariram. This body is meant for doing paropakara, not always swa upakara. Everything for me only. For me, I cook, I only eat. Okay, you cook, offer to Krishna and distribute prasadam at least to one or two people, no? Then your cooking becomes a yajna. It becomes paropakara. So therefore, we must do paropakara. That is what Krishna is saying. Work for me. Right? So we will continue in the next session, the remaining 10 shlokas. Please distribute the chanting beats. Any questions anyone has?
So those people who the Asura arrested, those 16,100 women, they were already eternal servants of Krishna. Why does Krishna need to say that? So that they
Every one of all of us are actually eternal servants of Krishna. It is a matter of realizing, that's all. As I told in the beginning. Jiver Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nitya Dasa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what is the Swarupa of every Jiva? Krishnera Nitya Dasa. We are eternal servants of Krishna. Thank you. But, so everybody in this world, whether they are devotees or they are not devotees, they are all servants of Krishna only. But those who accept it, they are called devotees. Those who don't accept, they are in ignorance, they are not devotees still. So they accepted and Krishna accepted. They requested and Krishna accepted. Good question. Any other question?
I have a question. In general, in home we likely where we actually bought that from some shop, and we like I mean every day we see him pray for it. Like, what is the common?
No problem. If that form of God is not manufactured or imaginary, then it is authorized form of God. You can worship. Okay? Any other question? Okay, so let us chant now. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Let us all chant at our own pace. Please make sure that you chant audibly so that you can hear your own words and hear attentively. When your mind goes there and here, make attempts to bring the mind back on the sound. Hare Krishna.